Exercises. 3. Circles. 2. 3. Press. 1. 2. 3. shoulder. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. First. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10. 1, 2, 6. First. Smirking. Okay. Twenty-four. Can't do it just once. It's like a potato chip. That's it. Right.
So we do the fan through the back here, and then when we go to the other side, try to keep this still pretty round so that it just kind of balances, because you don't want to like collapse your elbow. Yeah, so let's do that again. So we'll go over here. So then when you're here, do that. So when you have that set like that, when this curve is more focused, then we go over to the other side. And then we want this to be over here too. But that's like the opposite way. So you go like this, and then you go like this. You're dealing with lines. So if you look in the mirror yourself, and you're like this, and then you create the arc that's like this. So while we're here, and then this one is just turning over, and then you're going to create the next motion. So the thing is containing the line, so that makes the movement smoother and more compatible with the direction. Now that's what breaks down a lot of times when we make a movement to the other side, the shape starts to break down. Yeah. So then if you look in the mirror here, if we did like this, and then we end up facing this way to do the Italian punch, when we turn like this, and then when we turn, then we're like this, and then we're going to turn like this. So you see how, while this one's like this, the stroke is like this. Right? And then when this is like this, the movement comes this way, so the direction of movement is this way. Then we're turning this way, and then the body's turning this way. So you don't want your form to lose its continuity in the direction of the movement. So the direction of movement should be compatible. Yeah. So when we do this, when we're here, and we make the back, create the back fist, you don't want this too close, then you're sort of cramping your own movement. So even that one can be a little bit full. So once you're there, right, turn, and then let it go. Right? So we're like this. One, but we're still out here. Two, leave it out here so that it's further away. Then it gives you room to turn like this. Because if you're too close on this side, then it ends up here kind of clamping. And then turn. And then up. You stroke down one. So you have to turn that way first. So you hear one, here one, two. So you have to turn everything here. 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So in other words, between here and here, and your back fist is the middle, so you have the two sides, and then you have here, then you should have like a balance in the movement. Otherwise, it'll look like it's this, and then this side is not complete. So you have it, it's like not symmetric. And then you start to turn, yeah. Yeah, try it again. So it's broken. You see, you can feel that you feel like it's this. Then Sit up on the ground until you turn it off. 1, 2, 3. In other words, the patty is still in the middle of your transition. And then come forward. So we have to slow, the arms are moving and it's traveling a longer distance. When you don't tie that to the leg, then what ends up happening is you rush. You see how, you see what I mean by that rush? The first time you do the leg, it was rush. And so, get here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gives you a chance to create the other side. So yeah, this is just the carry side of it. So when you turn this way, and then it merges on this, and then it allows you to turn, and this is turning with this. So you let your body lead the movement rather than the hand lead the body. What we're trying to do is take the physical isolated side of the movement. So when you're here, if the hand movement ends up like this, then that's actually too physical or too much of a. And then we're here.
On your feet, when you do the first one, you go this, you turn this foot here, is this foot staying here? As you do this, you don't get the turn until you start to go into this.
So say that again, do that again? Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. The mic? Oh yeah, yeah. Oh. I didn't think anyone was listening. Huh? Oh, okay.
When you start hand back this way here, foot is not like here, not perfectly symmetrical to the other way, right?
Yeah, when we turn this foot, so then we end up like pigeon-toed until we do that,
You
right?
get the turn like you do this.
Yeah, you get the turn. Yeah. Yeah. But, don't forget, it's not just your feet turning, you're turning your body and then you're turning here. So this actually helps you when you shift to turn here, and then when you sit back, then it's your torso and your hip is coming around. Now you're turning like this, and then you're coming like that. Oh, Samantha, how many people are watching actually, do we know? Can you tell if anybody's watching? Oh, how about on the live stream unit? Does it tell you? Yeah, because that last movement is fairly complicated. Yeah, so fairly complicated because there's a change in direction. Only one? So I think one of the things that's pretty important is that when we're here, okay, so, and even this, after we do the insert needle and we come to this position, draw the movement, right? You have to draw that movement as a splitting motion. But you're drawing that movement, but then leaning forward. See, we're drawing it like this. See, what we have to understand is that when the body moves forward and the hand is here, it doesn't become much of a reaching. It becomes a unit, but because I'm moving forward, this hand actually is just staying there. If you don't leave it there and stay, then it ends up like this. Then it starts to be a little bit too much arm. So that's what we have to get the body to recognize. So there's not so much of the arm movement. Then because we're going to the other side, we just change the body form, and essentially you maintain your structure. Now when you maintain your structure, and then we start to create the parry movement, then it ties to here. Now once you turn your palm down like this, then the rest of it becomes holding the rest of it becomes, after you get to here, and you create the parry, then all you have to do is turn your hand over and turn the body. The hand will, by the time it gets here, then just relax your shoulder and then let the projection of the stance become the punch. See, so while we're just creating the direction of the hand, your body kind of leads it to drive it. So it takes out all the arm stuff that's in a typical parry and a setting up to do the punch. So we just look at the hand. This is this is this. But when you combine it together, it doesn't have this or this any longer. It becomes this. You see what I mean? So the movements expand like a splitting or spreading of the movement, and then that's what happens. So that's something that we just have to keep in mind. Didn't you struggle with that? No. Then when you're there, right? So this hand should be like this, but then you have to seat the wrist a little bit. Because if you just do this, then it's there but not there. This actually gives it that. So now, when you do this and you lean forward, you should feel the stretch on this side. When you do this and just go forward, there's not connected to your body. So you don't have that completeness in the motion. So when you're like this, and you're like this, then your body has a connection here. Whereas if you go like this, and it's just there, then that actually, so you kind of sever the energy of that motion. So that's one of the things that we have when we do the Tai Chi here. So that actually, if you can get higher than this one, you can, yeah. And then, so what we're dealing with is structural integrity, and then, the continuity of the movement driven from the body. So the body is moving like that. So, that's sort of like when we do this exercise, right? We have a focus of a position. So when we do this, and you do this, and if you think of this movement as if I'm here, right, and I grab the hand, there's no way I can pull that unless I continue to have this structure. if I'm pulling it and my hand breaks, then how can you pull it? You lost the continuity of that motion. See? So then this actually will become part of this. Right?
One thing I understand is doing it, like when I was coming forward,
Yeah. Yeah, you stay vertical. But at the same time, if you're taking an arm like this, and then you're taking it like this, you know, you have to have that connection. You have to have that connection or that connection. We're doing this, but then after you catch the arm, you want to pull it over. You'd have to sink and then lift like that. So if you try to pick up something, you have to kind of pull it together, you know. So that's what the connection, that movement is. Yeah. Yeah. So when we're here, we insert the needle, we straighten the back, right? Insert the needle, straighten and step out, and then move forward. Yeah. You insert the needle. Yeah, okay, let's try that again. So when you insert the needle, you want to turn your spine here and then drop it in. So you don't want to be inserting the needle with your body semi-turned. See what I mean? You have to turn like this. That brings the hand down toward your center. Yeah, so when you're here, fold the elbow first, and then start dropping your hand in like that. Yeah, again, yeah. You're there, fold the elbow, then you start to drop your hand in like that, and then the hand drops. Then keep turning. Yeah, yeah, so that's how you end up. But then when you turn, see right now you will hunch like that, but you should actually fold. Then when you turn, because you're turning here. You see your tailbone is going to the heel of the back foot. And then you start to fold from here. Yeah. See. So the folding from the back leg, the hip. So it's a little bit more strenuous on the leg. When you're here, okay, we're here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, here, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just trying to get the body to be leading the movements with the forward and back legs. Yeah. Like this. Yeah. Just sink into it. Yeah. And then, but your other hand, relax it. Yeah. Yeah. So the other hand just comes here. See, it's still, yeah, but see, you have to relax the shoulder so that so it's moving with the hand. Like you're brushing the knee. After you brush the knee, it doesn't stop there. Right? You brush the knee and then so it's still part of that turn. See what I mean? So it doesn't stop here and then that becomes isolated. So you want to stay connected. Yeah, it's just getting your two sides to have that relationship. Now, if your legs are working like that, then the arms should be working like that because the relationship in the upper body and the lower body should have a relationship. So that's why we're trying to work through that. So your spine actually turns best when it's vertical, right? Because once you hunch like this, then when you turn, it doesn't look smooth now. It looks like it's like that. So when you're here and you're turning, you see, so the vertical spine helps to create a more defined rotational movement. Yeah. So, all the limbering up that we do and directional change, range of motion really helps to alleviate some of the rigidity that might be, or the flatness in the movement. So it has that curve, the back fist. So when you're doing the back fist, it's not just this. It's sink the elbow, it's turning the shoulder, and it's turning over. So just turning over, like when we do this, we have to move the arm, forming the fist, right? So when we parry the punch, your arm is actually doing that. You may not be doing that, but you're here, you still have to turn, and the arm does do this, and this is the way you would do it in the drill. So you parry and punch, then this hand would do that. The circle is really sort of concentric to your body. So when we're here and we're here, then it's only this big. Right? So it's not going out like this. It's just following your body. So when we're here, now when it gets to this point, then it has to come back down. So it comes back down when your body starts to turn away, and then it goes like this. So there's hardly any drawing back of your hand, because this is isolated, right? The elbow is distinctly pulling back and punching forward. When I turn like this, and then I drop it here, my hand already made it to here without actually doing this. Because when I did this, I turned. So now here's my hand, there's my elbow, there's my punch. But even there, so that's it. Because that's what we sort of miss all the time, because we see the hand. We're watching the hand, In fact, when in Kung Fu we do this, punch, 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 right? So the elbow extends back, right? In Tai Chi, our elbow doesn't go beyond the side of your body, right? That's one of the concepts. So if your hand doesn't go beyond the body, how do you get a motion in a punch? So it stays and tracks with the body, so it never goes beyond your back. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't have the volume of the movement that takes it behind you. So you have to create the space to create the motion, and then at the same time generate the same action that looks like you did a punch. And the only way to do that is to turn. And to turn. So you notice my elbow didn't really go behind me. So that's, yeah. Now your body can turn and then come forward, and then it goes backwards if you were doing the parry and punch, if you divert and block. So your hand doesn't really go beyond your side either. Like if we're doing this, it's going out to the side. When you go like this, it's in your center line. The two, because you're only doing one infinity sign. So I'm doing one infinity sign, and it doesn't go beyond the two sides, and I punch, then when I go back, I turn to here, it doesn't go beyond the sides, and it stays within the realm of this space, right? So that's your relative space. That's your rectangle. If you take your rectangle outside of this space, then you're here. There's a rectangle there, there's one here, one here. So if I come into here, I come to here, there's this side of the rectangle on this rectangle. There's this side of the rectangle on this side, because this has the two extreme sides. Then it comes into the middle. But the hand is not doing this. It's doing this. So where you turn becomes maintaining your center line and keeping the size of that motion the same as this. As far as maintaining center. It does get longer in between, so it becomes this because you turned. So it makes it much more efficient. See? So that's what we try to understand, is how to create the movement in space without being too dominant with the hands. So that happens. So when you do the 42, the same thing happens when we turn this way. This is strum the lute, right? Right. This is strum the lute. We're here, 1, 2. But when we turn into this direction, we want to still stay within the realm of that space. And we set up our position. Then we turn to here to stork flaps wings. Essentially, you're just going through the motions to get to where you're supposed to go, and you're here. See? So what you do is just find your final position, but then there's various transitions. So that's the big challenge, trying to create those movements three-dimensionally, because the body doesn't know how to do that. It doesn't know because it loses track. So the important thing is when you're doing your movements, that you only go to those limits. Because once you sort of program and contain that, then when you move over here, it's contained. It goes over here, it's contained. So it doesn't matter where your movements are. It's still contained within the space. Because your limits are your extension, your sinking, your opening, or your closing, your forward, your down and up. It's all within this space. That's why we reference shoulder, side, center, up, out, in, and down. See, it's as simple as that, but once you blend it together, it gets a lot harder because we tie the legs into it. So you want to do we've got time to do the 42 once, when we can see we can kind of pull that space together. Oh, you want light? See, well, not that one. No, everything should be going like the reds. Reds are all on, so just everything should be like the reds. What, okay, keep going, keep going. What, Andy needs light? Huh? So this is off. Yeah. Yeah. And here's your parry and punch. Right? Goes grasp the sparrow's tail, final. Okay, deep breathing. So over there, Irene is sitting, there is a table of some old, you know, uniforms or shirts that they used to be hanging there, and we just put them away. So they're new, but they're a little dusty. You want to, you could take those there, you know, open for, you know, for grabs. So you might fit some of those. Someone ready? Bow. So Salute. Just freeing up some closet space. But you know, there's a sweatshirt there that, I don't know, maybe Irina, maybe you could fit that sweatshirt there. It's a medium. You want to try it? Those are the ones that went with the tops. No tops. This is just a bottom. There's larges. Well, you know, no, they're not really warm, but but you can wear them in class, you know, or you know, outside or whatever. Would you fit this medium? Would you fit that? Those are youth larges. What you say? Yeah. She would fit a youth large.